Cheated on feels empty. I was in a later for 9 years, me 27 meters and 27F. D-Day was recent in June, but this has been rocky since our engagement, but we managed to be strong till this year. I found out after coming back from home after going in the office. It seemed like nothing happened till I found scraps of evidence. I told her dad and it spread like wildfire throughout her family. The dad also experienced infidelity from ex-wife and it was the worst time of his life, so he was able to empathize with me. I split with my fiancée to take time apart. I know people will automatically say to leave her and etc. We split to heal and reconcile later. Fiancée told me she was unhappy and told me I mentally and emotionally abused her for 2 years due to my anger increasing that suddenly occurred when one of her family members kept putting me down and spread rumors about me. She felt unhappy and went to consult her friend, got into a relationship recently for about 3 months for advice, and she started talking to this guy she met in tennis. The AP knew we were engaged and I found out he trash-talked me as the lowest trashiest person in existence to do this abuse to her. I agree I wasn't right to put her down. But what made me confused was how is this person AP trying to be the righteous person when he is trying to be the homewrecker, knowingly know that we are engaged and has a 7-year-old child. Like, how are you the best example? In conclusion, I moved out. It has been very difficult. I feel very empty but not suicidal. I have no family in my state. I've been taking things day to day, wanting the day to be over. Doctor decided to prescribe me with depression pills, but it makes me moody and angry towards her. I do still talk to my ex. We're both in therapy to fix both of our end. Our connection together is really good. One weird thing that my ex would mention is that her cheating is due to my abuse and anger. Is this justified? I feel that that's just wrong. Redditor's reactions. Story 2 after. Redditor 1, it's just her manipulation. Did not try to fix the relationship, cheated. The damage has been done, now it's too late to regret it. It's pointless to fix it. You shouldn't stay with someone you know will go out when you have problems. Redditor follow up. Yep, also there's no way I'd marry someone who cheated on me before the wedding and whose mom, maybe stepmom, is also a cheater. Redditor 2, there is no reason to cheat. What she does here is to make you responsible for decisions she made. In the end, she met the guy at tennis, liked him, and then began to look for reasons to justify to herself to cheat on you. But the truth is, in all the time when she felt abused and unhappy, why has she never come to you and told you how you make her feel? Why has she never asked to go to counseling? Why hasn't she met with a lawyer and served you the divorce papers when you were truly the asshole she wants to make you to be? You see, she had options, many of them. She hasn't cheated on you because of something you did or haven't done. She cheated on you because she wanted to cheat on you. That's it. Were you perfect? No, no one is, but there are many ways about what to do when you are not happy with your partner and to either get to a better place together or separated. Or let's see this from another perspective. How has her cheating helped her? Does she feel better now after she put a huge pile of acid on the according to her already existing pile of acid? You are not the reason why she cheated on you. She did that completely on her own and is now just trying to blame you for decisions she made. Just out of curiosity, if she would have drove her car against another car and then asked you to pay for the whole damage because she only caused the crash since she was thinking about you, would you pay for it? Would you think that you are the reason for the crash? You are worth so much more than to be treated this way. Op answer, I missed to mention, but she did confront me with abuse and anger, but it wasn't where we sat down and communicated well. Thank you for your insight. I was thinking the same when I was drowning in my thoughts about the reasons why. Redditor 3, this shows that she is not remorseful. You cannot have a successful reconciliation until and unless she takes full responsibility for her actions. You need to understand that there is no justification for cheating. If you are not happy in a relationship, then end it instead of spreading your legs for another person. Simple as that. She is gaslighting you. Complete manipulation. Don't be weak. Don't show any emotion to her. You never should have left the house. Instead, you should have asked her to leave. Is she still in contact with her AP? Please don't marry her. This will be the biggest blunder in your life that you will regret big time. Op answer, thank you. For some reason I feel like someone is promoting reinforcing what she did. But that's just my thought since her friend and AP before. I'm not sure about the status of AP. Story 2, I feel sad for my cheating partner and I don't understand why. So it's been right at a month since I found out that my wife had been carrying on an affair with one of her coworkers for about 6 months. I met with her yesterday to go over how we will be splitting stuff up, and I just sat there and went over everything as she cried and told me she never thought this would happen. She also said she is having a hard time finding a place she can afford on her own and how sad she was that we were splitting up the dogs. She just seemed so sad. Before I got there I was anxious, angry, sad, all of the feelings you have when you find out your wife is cheating on you. But after I met with her, I just felt sad for her. I felt compassion, and it is very confusing to me why I am feeling this way towards someone who irreparably damaged our marriage and part of my life. Has anyone else had this same thing happen? It's confusing to me. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1. What I find sad about your post is that your wife is apparently unable to commit herself to a relationship, the prime example being your marriage to her. The inability to commit herself belies a flaw in her personality which may not be fixable. That you feel bad for her suggests that you have a good capacity for empathy, and that is key to being human. But don't let your empathy for her plight stand in the way of your future happiness. Redditor follow up. I wouldn't say it's unfixable, it's just not your place to ever fix it. Redditor 2. I think you are feeling sad because you are watching the start of the slow train wreck of the dissolution of your STBX's life. You're a human. You're not a sociopath. You have empathy for the woman you once loved and admired. All of that is totally normal. It is sad to watch someone you would have done anything for at one time sink so low. The thing is, she did sink that low. She is capable of adultery, crossing boundaries, violating your trust forever. Usually posters on here say something trite like this is the real her. I won't, because you must already know the real her or you wouldn't be ending things. You gave her a second chance. She didn't care. She didn't value the things you value. The reality of it all is setting in and she is finally realizing what she did. Don't confuse this with remorse or a commitment to reconcile. She's despondent because she was caught, she knows it. She knows there is no coming back after disregarding the lifeline you threw her by forgiving her the first time. Guilt? Yes. Remorse for betraying you and destroying your family? I'm honestly not seeing it. Learn to disconnect from her. The separation will help you. Redditor follow up. She cheated, and was not prepared for the consequences. Not your fault. Update. Cheating soon-to-be ex thinks she deserves half the money my parents gave us for a down payment for our house as a gift. So long story short, my mom and dad gave my wife and I a down payment for our house as a gift. Well, now that we are splitting up, they want that money back for safekeeping until I decide to buy a home again. We have been there for about 2 years and have roughly $5,000 in our own equity in the home. I offered my soon-to-be ex the $5,000, even though half of that is also mine to buy her out of her portion of the house, plus gave her half of our bank account even though I didn't feel like she deserved any of it. I also make quite a bit more money than her, so most of the money in our account, I had put there. I didn't care, she was my wife, she can have half of it and the $5,000. But when I told her that, she absolutely lost her asset and told me that she is owed half of the money my parents gave us. I am leaving her because she has cheated on me twice with the same person, and I just think it's kind of crap that she thinks she is owed anything. I have been incredibly nice and respectful this entire time, but as soon as she heard that she lost it, I was really hoping for a smooth separation, but it doesn't look like it is going to happen. I mean, she cheated and I was still willing to be as nice as possible and she still wants more. Has anyone else dealt with something similar or has any advice for me? Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1. Advice: block her and only talk through lawyers. There's no reason for her to get that money. Redditor follow up. This comment. This is war. It's time to get your game face on. Get the best lawyer you can afford. Your parents are going to have to understand that they might not get it back. I'm sorry. Went through it myself. You pay the lawyer to deal with the bad stuff. And definitely ask for the dog, since it's probably the best thing you will get out of it. Redditor 2. Exact same thing happened to my husband when he was going through his divorce. His parents gifted him and his ex-wife pre-marriage a large down payment for the house he bought. When they divorced, he had to pay her 1/2 of all the equity. Not just the equity they had created. Even with a letter from his parents stating that the money was solely intended for their child and not the couple. Court didn't see it that way. We live in a no-fault state as well. Not sure if that goes into the decision-making process on this. Op answer: yay, I kind of figured I was screwed on this one. It's just mind-blowing that she thinks she is owed anything. She cheated on me, she doesn't really deserve anything. I felt like I was being very generous to her. I even paid for her surgery, and later found out that she was cheating on me while I did that. Update: does closure ever happen? First of all, I have to thank everyone in this community for always having great advice or knowing what to say to help me get through what I'm going through. The papers have been filed and we are waiting on the divorce to just be finalized. You know how these things take an extremely long time. Anyhow, I am back in the house. I am staying and keeping it. Lately I have been having these flashbacks of all the terrible shit she did, all the things she did to get away with cheating. All the lies, all the gaslighting, all the blame shifting, and it really upsets me. Then I just get angry. I'm sure these are all normal emotions, but I worry that I won't get closure because I'm not sure she will ever fully own what she did and truly apologize with remorse. So my question for anyone that has been through or is going through this, did that closure come? Was it with a heartfelt apology from the offender, or did you come by it on your own? How did you come by it on your own if you did? Thanks. Update, papers signed, waiting on it to be finalized. How should I battle the loneliness and sadness that I now feel? I signed all the paperwork yesterday. I have had no contact with the STBX for over a week, since she dropped my dog off and told me to take care of her, that she lived her and would do anything for her. I guess that anything excludes cheating on your husband. I digress. Now, I'm just alone, in the house with all these memories, but not the good ones, it's all the sad, angry, or tragic ones. I don't get triggered very often, but still do at times, which also sucks. Anyhow, how do I overcome the loneliness and sadness? I know time heals, but I just feel so alone right now. It doesn't help that COVID is still a thing. At least then I could go to a bar or a restaurant and work, meet new people. But, instead, I'm here, alone, and honestly kind of sad. Additionally, I feel like she is probably out there living her best life with the AP, while I get to pick up the pieces of my life. Which angers me but also makes me feel foolish, and again, upset. Sorry this post if all over the place, it's just all the feelings I am feeling right now. Update, it truly is insane when a cheater thinks they deserve something. Honestly, that's it, that's all I've got. My STBX won't sign the papers until I tell her if there is a second stimulus check I will make sure she gets her half. I would have done that before we had to put it in writing. I'm not the essity person, she is. She is already getting way too much money from our house, even though the majority of what we have in it was a gift from my parents. And, she took most of the furniture and the washer and dryer, so I'm having to start all over again with that stuff too. Left me a broken vacuum, just the that she didn't want. She feels so entitled and I just can't understand where the hell she gets being like this. She's the one that ducked up, she's the one that cheated. She deserves nothing. Someone else please tell me they have had the same issue and can understand it better than me. Update, a new wave of emotions. Recently, I had been doing exponentially better. I could differentiate between reality and the reality my STBXW created to justify her infidelity. But the past couple of weeks, all of those emotions are back. I am sad again. I keep blaming myself for the failure of our marriage and for her cheating on me. Is this normal? Has anyone else slipped back into those old emotions? The divorce decree went to the courts last week, still a waiting game until it is finalized, but I thought maybe that was part of it. I just hate that I am back to blaming myself and hating myself for destroying our marriage when I am the one that tried everything to fix it, but she was cheating. Any advice, or has anyone went through something similar? Update, a little hope for anyone looking for some. I won't go into all the details, but I found out my STBX was cheating for the second time in May, right before my birthday. She wasn't going to tell me. His girlfriend found out, just like the first time we found out it was happening, and she told me. I will spare the details to everyone, but if anyone wants to ask questions, send me a direct message. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago. I went on vacation with my family for the first time since we split up. I was honestly dreading it. It was going to be me, my parents, my sister and their husband and then their toddler, so I was feeling like the loser without anyone. I really dreaded it up until the day we got there. But something very interesting happened. It was the best vacation I have had in years, definitely since before my STBX and I were dating. Things were just easy, there was no stress, no drama, it was just fun. And it made me realize something. She brought out the worst in all situations, not just with me, but with my entire family. She always complained, she was never happy with anything, she had to be the one in charge, and even then she wasn't happy. She wasn't a good person, and she definitely wasn't a person that I needed to spend my life with. Her cheating on me, it was a favor. Now, don't get me wrong, There are still nights I mourn, I'm sad, I'm lonely. But I don't mourn because I miss her, I miss the person my brain had created when we were together, someone who truly didn't exist. I mourned a life that I was excited to live with an imaginary person. And you know what, that's okay, but what is even more okay, is that a vacation I didn't even want to go on was the best thing that happened to me in this Esther situation. On the last day, my family and I were sitting at lunch, talking about how good of a trip it was, and my mom and sister said how easy and peaceful it was, but wouldn't come out and say it, so I did. It was because Esther was not there to make stuff stressful. She wasn't there to ruin everything. She had ruined other vacations with my family, but I was blinded to seeing it. I brought someone into my family's lives that made them stress or unhappy. And that is something that I promise to never do again. So what I am getting at is, everyone on here that is struggling down this path, the path I was struggling down not all that long ago, I want to let you know, there is hope. I didn't see it, but I think I blinded myself from seeing it. I want you to open your eyes, that person that you are sad about, pining for, or begging to come back, they might just be imaginary too. Update, loneliness and depression. To anyone who has gone through this and feels like they are or did come out the other side happier, stronger, etc., how did you get over the loneliness? My ex and I split in May, but I have been really good at keeping myself busy until now. Now it feels like things are slowing down, as they often do in the winter time, and I am finding myself alone more often than I did before. On top of that, the divorce was finalized at the end of September. Anyhow, I am starting to feel a lot of loneliness and sadness. I am usually very social. Also, we moved to our current city together, and since we were married, I didn't explore making new friends as much as I would as a single person, so now, I feel like my friend group is as strong as it has been at other times in life. Anyhow, anyone been through the same thing? Going through the same thing? Any advice? Thanks. Update, she just won't go away. This is kind of a I need advice rant insight post. My ex and I have been separated since May, divorced since September, and she somehow always finds a way to sneak into my life in one way or another. It's an email asking if I have something forgot to pack months and months ago. 2 months ago she had packages delivered here on accident and we had to have a mutual friend pick it up. Now she has all of the sudden found out that we owe additional state taxes from 3 years ago when we were still married. Mind you, she's the one that cheated and wanted out of our marriage, but for someone who wants out of our marriage, she has done a good job of randomly appearing in my life. The second part is, she won't stop reaching out to my friends to talk, or hang out or want to meet up. Obviously they let me know, but they are people who are only friends with her because of me. Why continuously hassle them? I cannot understand the thought process here. On top of that, we moved to another city a few years back, but she is going down to the city we lived in before, not sure why. She didn't have any friends left there and she reached out to my friends to see if they wanted to catch up. One of my best friends still lives there and she even reached out to here to catch up. This friend hasn't spoken to here since all the cheating stuff happened. Can someone please help me understand what is going on and maybe help me come up with something remedy this issue? Also, every time she pops up, it makes me feel like I've taken 3 steps back. Which is very unfortunate, because I have made great strides in my journey of healing. Update, my friend responded and told my ex that she wished her the best, but she found it inappropriate to meet and that it wasn't going to happen in a polite but firm way. My ex responded with a very rude message about thinking she was her friend too, and it's really unfortunate that it has to be this way, and followed up with, lose my number. The mind-blowing audacity. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, fairly simple really op. That grass that she thought was greener. Turns out that it tastes like acid. She's living a Groundhog Day life now. Every day the same. Every time she opens her eyes in the morning she's waking up to yet another karma day. That coworker whose DCK she couldn't get enough of, just a distant memory now. Oh, for the good old days when her life was simple. What you have to do is to develop an attitude of total indifference. Don't react to anything. No communication. No conversation. Don't react in any way. Any reaction is just ego kibble for her. If something is mistakenly delivered, just post it to her parents. She'll get the message. She has blown it. End of. Good luck. Redditor follow up. My favorite saying about the greener grass is, the grass on the other side only appeared greener because they weren't watering their own lawn. Redditor 2, it gives her validation that what she did was not that bad and keeps you tethered. She can't completely let go of you, It's like the analogy about the monkey with their hands stuck in a jar. If they let go, they will be free, but to do so, they will loose what they are holding. It is not regret. It is selfishness and greed. Go no contact and let your friends know that you have done so. Tell them what she is doing is none of your business, and that you would appreciate it if they don't share anything about you should they choose to talk to her. If more packages come, return to sender. Redditor 3, it is all about control. She no longer has any direct control over you. That won't stop her from trying. If she has no current information about you, it will motivate her to reach out to your friends. Every time she pops up, it makes me feel like I've taken 3 steps back. This is the whole point. She does not want you to move on. Redditor follow up. This is best explanation here and somewhat what I would have posted. Please read this because this what she is trying to do. Redditor 4, my ex would do this as well in the 2 months immediately after I moved out. Where is the household item? How do I reset the router? Could you come over and help me move the entertainment center? I finally replied with words to the effect of, how do you sleep at night? You cheat on me for 6 years, and when you're caught, you make up lies about how it's all my fault. You call 911 on me, you tell the kids I was physically abusive, yet, you can just call me up and ask me to help you with the household. And you feel no guilt about this at all? Never got asked again after that.